All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome in.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
How are we all doing? Someone said, I love that plant in the background. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, your plant or my? Oh, your plant. Hey, look.
Oh, you have a plant too.
You,
Oh, we both have
yeah, why is
plants.
your plant so? Why is your plant so big, and why is it right in your face?
Hey, man, I don't design it.
Oh God. Welcome in, guys. We got Mike on the horn this morning. It's a beautiful morning. Actually, it's not a beautiful morning, but you know what? We'll make it a beautiful morning. In New York, it is rainy. It is gray. It looks horrific outside, but hopefully it is nicer where you guys are. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in.
Smiley Mike, AI Mike. All right.
AI Mike. We got AI Mike on the horn this morning. All right. So we cannot waste time today. We cannot waste time today. Nice in Spain, I'm sure, Walsh. I'm sure it is absolutely beautiful in Spain. You're driving from Maine to Phoenix. Have a safe drive, Dorsey. Drive safe.
Wow.
That's a
It's
that's a
far.
long drive. Distant relatives, 499. Thank you very much. Last time both these guys were here, a lot of money was made. Much appreciated, distant relatives. Thank you for always supporting. Thank you very much. Saina Youngin, why Mike put up the ring like a bat? Oh, there he is.
No ring light. It's just my computer light.
All right, so guys, let's dive right into it. So big things happening here in this morning session. Obviously, some big data that is approaching. The big data today session is FOMC minutes. So let's you know what? Let's go right into it. What we'll do is we'll no introduction. We're just going to dive into econ data, earnings reports, and then we'll go into our charts. We'll make it very simple today. We'll make it very right to the point. Okay. So today is Wednesday, November the 19th. We have how many people do we have here? Only 500 people here this morning. Everyone's sleeping in. Let them miss it all because they don't need it, right? Meta, thank you very much, Meta. $4, thank you for that. Thank you for always supporting. Thank you guys for always uh, contributing to that giveaway. November. What is the last day? How many days are in November? I'm a bit embarrassed to say I don't know how many days. Like how many days are in November? 30,
30.
30. Okay, 30 flat. So November 30th. That's our giveaway day, and I'll see you guys all there. All right, so guys,
Yeah.
today's session, obviously, we have our housing starts and permits here this morning at 8:30. This was released, so we actually did get this data here this morning. Besides that, we have Moran speaking at 10 o'clock, Fed speaker, and then we have our 2 p.m. big data today, the big data 2 p.m. Also, Atlanta expectations on inflation is at 10 o'clock, so not very big, but just be aware of that 10 o'clock data, 1 o'clock data, 2 p.m. data. 2 p.m. data is the biggest data of the week. For whatever reason, FOMC minutes have, for me, I'll just tell you this. I don't know if you guys know this, but I remember like about a month ago, I was telling you guys like my data. My data is not so good when it comes to FOMC minutes days. I don't know what it is. I don't know why that's the case because FOMC minutes is not really a big session, right? It's not that important in terms of data. But for me, it tends to be a day that I get chopped up in trades. I get chopped up. I end up holding trades for much longer than I should be. Like my average hold time was over an hour on FOMC days or FOMC minute days. So be aware of that. If it's a problem for me, I would imagine it's also a problem for many of you guys as well. Okay, so understand FOMC minutes in the afternoon session today, which could cause some hiccups here in the early morning session. Besides that, we also have our data at 4 p.m. today, 4:15 p.m. With Nvidia earnings. Nvidia earnings is going to shake the market, and every analyst, every investor, everyone is talking about that today. They're all looking towards Nvidia earnings and the FOMC minutes today at 2 p.m. So understand that data, that huge data in the after hours session today and the afternoon session today here on FOMC minutes is going to cause some drama, right? Maybe resulting in some minor movements here, some choppy movements here in the early morning session. Okay, understand that and come into today's session with low expectations, and maybe we do get better. Maybe we actually do get a better reality as the market presents. But as of right now, big data here in the afternoon. Thursday session, we have some more data, employment data, 8:30 in the morning. If we do get that, it is delayed. It says, but understand that probably it may come out. I just don't know if it does or doesn't. This is usually a very big data report, and this is actually one of the biggest things the market's waiting for. This employment data Thursday, November 20th, the market's looking for this. So if we do get that release, expect big market reaction. Besides that, some routine data going into Thursday session after that 8:30 a.m. data. Okay. On the earnings docket, you guys already know it, right? We had Target earnings this morning. Target reported actually good earnings, but guided lower. And I think it's strategic. It's strategic for them because they're basically setting low expectations for them to have a nice beat next quarter. That's what I'm expecting. But again, we'll see what happens here. But you saw some pretty not so good guidance, right? The guidance was lowered right before the holiday season, which is not what you want to see. But I think it's strategic. They also have a new CEO coming in February. So I think they're basically setting the stage for a push in next quarter. So my intention is basically hold this stock, even though I'll be down on it a few points this morning. Okay. Besides that, you have Nvidia in the after hours this morning. Nvidia Palo Alto at 4:15. Expect some market reaction there. And then Thursday session, Walmart, WMT in the pre-market. Webull also on Thursday as well. If you guys are trading Webull. Okay. So let's dive into our charts. SPY as the first ticker, and I'm actually going to let Mike. You can begin this session with SPY.
I think you should do SPY and ES since that's the trade you took yesterday, and I'll do the Qs since that's the trade I took yesterday.
Sure, let's run it. Okay, so yesterday's session basically was what? I'll tell you this. It was a sell day, right? So we sold yesterday at the market open, and my main watch was what? I'll tell you where I took my trades yesterday because you guys probably know it, right? I longed. Okay, my bias yesterday was 662. Was right here, right? This is where my bias was formed. It was 662. Okay, so if we are above this level, bullish, below this level, bearish. Now I actually longed yesterday this candle right there, that green candle right there. I longed that green candle because what were we doing? We were above the 662. That was actually a good long entry yesterday, but unfortunately, what happened? Bam, right back underneath. So I stopped out that next 940 candle. I waited for the market to form, and what did the market do? It just dumped down lower, right? No retests, no rejections, no ability to go short yesterday because my strategy says what? If I see a breakdown of a level, like this is a question I was getting asked because even during live trading, someone was asking me, saying, Brett, why would you long SPY back over here, right? I was longing SPY at 657 yesterday. Why would you long SPY at 657 if your bias was short at 662? Well, to answer your question, the way I trade is if I have a level that's breaking, right? Let's just say a big support level. If I see the level break, I need to get a retest in order for me to get my entry for it to continue in my favor. Because if a stock ever does this, where it breaks down under a level and just continues dumping with no retest, unfortunately, I'm just not going to get that short, right? In fact, I may get the short, but it's going to be much later on in the session, maybe 2 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock, maybe much later in the session, in which case it actually did happen over here, right? This was the retest, the first retest of your level, but it happened much later on in the session. So unfortunately, I was forced to look for the dead cat bounces. And I did catch it, right? I made it back yesterday after we held the 657. Now, it's not an amazing trade. This is not an amazing trade. Truthfully, this is not an A+ trade, but it was quite good, right? We longed the 657 and got a nice upside move, and I longed it multiple times on that Tuesday session. And then the last thing that happened, the best trade yesterday, in my opinion, on the long side, was the ES 6600 Wim Wham. Okay, so look at the chart here yesterday, ES66. Look at the golden level we tapped yesterday, right? We broke right underneath it, reclaimed it, a little bit of a Wim Wham underneath it, upside move. So there was some opportunity on the shorts at the early morning, but then if you missed the shorts, there was opportunity at the longs, at demand, which you guys knew this, right? We said on live during our session, we said, listen, the downside move already happened. If you missed the downside move, fantastic, but you got to move on, right? You have to move on to the next trade. And the next trade that presented was no longer shorts anymore. After the move has been made to the downside, the risk reward is no longer to that initial move. It is now to the opposite reversion play back into the mean, which in this case was a long side trade back in highs. So we longed it back at lows here, got the upside move. Again, not sexy, right? Not a sexy day from yesterday, but it was a technical day. The shorts worked, the longs worked, and it was a happy session. Now, we moved back into resistance here at 6660, which was the 662 on SPY. we initially rejected that level yesterday, which I think was interesting. So we rejected that level initially, which happened right here. We broke back above it, showing some strength. And then what the hell happened at close? We went right back down underneath that level into close, seeing some downside into close. And now this morning, where are we? This morning we are right at the level. So my bias, my understanding this morning is going to be drawn from whether or not we are above the 662 or below the 662. If we are above the lows of our Monday session, I think that we probably go higher today, right? We probably do a little bit of this and go higher today. If we're below 662, then I think we go lower today, back into our demand lows. But again, the same thing. I can't be short back into the lows of Tuesday, back into ES 66. That's where the demand is today's session. So understand that, right? If we move down lower, we can't go short back into these lows. Likewise, if we move higher today, right? Let's just say this happens. Let's say we move higher today's session, okay, and we rally higher, okay, and we start moving higher into the 670.5s. This is not an area I can go long into anymore either, right? The long has been over here. This is where the long entries are today's session. And then once we're at the 675s, we're no longer long, but we're still long bias, right? The market's still holding support, but we are overextended into resistance, just the opposite of what we were yesterday, just on the long side. So keep that in mind. We're a long bias if we're above 662, back into 675. But again, if we are in this level, we're looking probably for retest rejection shorts for downside play. Okay. So what I'm basically saying is respect your levels: level 1, level 2, and level 3. Now, there's one level I want to add for today's session. The one thing that I want to get involved in today's session is this level right here at 665. So the lows that we produced, the highs that we produced yesterday, rather, on Tuesday's session, 665. I said I am long biased above 662, which is true. But where I would actually take the trade today is going to be above the highs of yesterday's session. I want to avoid the ability of getting chopped up in channels between yesterday's low highs and yesterday's lows. And so for that reason, my main approach to SPY is going to be look for the long entry above 665. Even though I am long biased above 662, right, this level right here, the golden zone, I'm looking for longs above 665 for continuation plays higher, which in this case would be ES breaking above the highs of yesterday, which would be 66.87 is that high right there. Okay, so that's my bias today here and my read on SPY. Again, respecting levels. Yesterday's big level here, 6660, and the highs 6686. If we can clear that today, I'm looking for long side entries. If we can't clear it, then we probably move back lower into the golden zone, which is 6600 ES, or that's 657 SPY. Okay, so that's my long analysis there on SPY. I'll let Mike take over on the Qs.
Yeah, so I think yesterday we all kind of had the same read off the open. We saw that the market was holding. We attempted some early longs. They didn't work out. I took Amazon personally as it was holding that 228, the bounce level that I had mentioned a few days earlier. It was the gap fill level. And it was worth a shot taking those longs off the open if the market did just squeeze. We all took a small loss. You know, it was 13% for me. But then we wound up actually nailing the bottom of QQQ and SPY. QQQ, the level was 592, and that level matched perfectly with NQ 24,400, which is a huge 4-hour level. If you guys look at the 4-hour on NQ, you'll see we bounced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different times off of that level. So this is kind of the must-hold level for the market if we're going to stay in an uptrend, at least on a daily time frame. If we want to maintain, we have to hold that 24,400. So that was a great trade. We bottom tick that, and then if you took it again on the break and retest at 11 o'clock, that was really the trade of the day. That wound up doing 200% off that 592 and made a $10 move. So 592 is our demand, and for longs, I'm watching if we can break above yesterday's range, 602. All right, 602. If we can break above, it was the morning, the open high. It was also the area that we kind of stayed under in the afternoon. So if we can break above 602, we have room back into 606. If you guys remember that 606 is NQ 25,000. So that's what I'm watching. Potential for a 4-point move if we can break above yesterday's range.
Absolutely. And the one thing I'll say this is look, if we if we do this today, right? This is the most important thing I'm going to say today's session. We have we're not going to sugarcoat shit to you guys. I'm going to tell you how it is because this is why we're all here, right? We have Nvidia earnings after hours. We have FOMC at 2 p.m. today. If the market does this today, okay, look, yesterday's session was actually not a difficult session. It was not difficult. We had some good action. The market actually moved. And if you notice something on the Qs chart, on the 5-minute chart, just look at the 5-minute here in Qs and notice that for many days in a row, barring our Tuesday session of November 11th, that was probably the last choppy day we had. We've had almost 8 days of pretty good price action, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of pretty good price action, right? Trending action in one direction where levels have been respected, levels have been guided by, very, very key psych levels, right? 602, 592 on Qs, right? Lots of good movements here on the Qs. Lots of good movements here on SPY and ES. If you are trading today's session and you see us maintain between 602 and 592 today, if you see us do a little bit of this today, this is action, right? But it's not sexy, right? You want to see us break above the range of yesterday, right? The 602s breaks, the 592s breaks, right? And if that happens, then you'll get real continuation, real free-flowing moves. And this is not fear-mongering. This is more so just understanding and setting expectations for the session. For now, respect your levels. The 602s and the 592s are your levels here in Qs. But you're not missing out on much if we stay within the 602 and 592 here on SPY or on Qs. And on SPY, if we stay between the 665s and the 657s today, right? About what is that? That's an $8 zone here on the SPY that we have. $8 of zone here. $8 a zone, which is actually a spectacular zone that we have going into our session here. But if we stay in between this zone, between the 657s and the 655s, or 665s rather, this is a zone where it's not going to be that crazy today, right? I think we should understand and know that if we are in the zone, you're not missing out on much, right? The big moves are going to happen either above the zone or below the zone. Everything in between here, I wouldn't want to call us a dead zone, right? This is not a dead zone to me because dead zones are really flat out. I won't trade it, right? I will not trade a dead zone. But this is not a dead zone, but it's pretty close, right? We're in a coma right now on SPY, right? It's pretty close. It's very, very bad language there, but we're sleeping right now here on SPY. I don't want to say that. We're sleeping. It's a better way of saying it. We're sleeping here in SPY. We're not in the dead zone yet. We're not in the graveyard zone yet, but I would really want to see this clear or this clear for continuation move in either direction. Okay, let's move on, guys. Let's go over our next ticker of today's session. Let's start off with Nvidia, and we'll have a nice view on this chart. So Nvidia is actually one of the most beautiful bullish setups I'm seeing in this chart this morning, and the reason why is because I love this 15-minute, 1-hour chart. We've now produced a triple bottom here at 180, and prior to earnings, we look absolutely beautiful. Now, again, things can change here after earnings, but what I'm seeing here is a beautiful triple bottom at support here at 180, right? Producing a very strong, you can see a very strong level here that's holding in the market, okay? And you have a consolidation high here at 192. If this 192 can clear on Nvidia, we should see a move back into 210, right? I know it's far-fetched. I know we have earnings in the after hours today's session, which is going to cause a lot of wonkiness. But this is a really bullish chart, and I think we almost understand that. Now, granted, earnings may change that. And what would make me believe that Nvidia is no longer bullish anymore? Well, if Nvidia breaks back underneath 180, okay? 180 is my bull bear pivot. And if we lose 180, then I argue we sell. And if you look back at this chart here, under 180, we move back into 172 and possibly 164. So the chart is saying bullish. Earnings are going to change that or confirm that. Let's see what happens post earnings. I have no intention of trading Nvidia today, but I want you guys to see what the chart looks like. And the chart right now looks pretty good. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I'm not touching Nvidia before earnings, but 180 is the level.
Yep.
If we lose 180, I don't know what happens. We could see a very big sell. It really depends what happens with earnings and how they guide into 2026.
Absolutely. Look at the chart here. Look at this high volume area, right? Look at the consolidation here, the high volume node at 180, right? So 180 is a massive level. And all the bullish statement that I just said here on Nvidia is contingent on if we are above 180. So like Mike's saying, you can completely flip that idea. And if we lose 180, that's a short. So keep 180 on your watch, right? That's a very important inflection point. If you do a fixed range profile all the way back in the 4-hour chart here, right? Go to the 4-hour chart and run a fixed range profile, right? And just look at this whole consolidation, big consolidation here, and notice something. Notice even through this whole consolidation, right? Back from Thursday, July 2025, right? Back in July 10th, 2025. The highest volume node is around the 180s, right? 180, 150. So you know this is an area to watch going into our earnings session. This is the most important level. The most important level on Nvidia is 180. Okay, so keep that in mind. Obviously, right now it looks bullish, but let's see what happens post earnings because again, everything can change. AMD, we had a really good view in AMD yesterday. This was actually probably the best trade on an individual equity going into our Tuesday session, right? If you guys trade, how many of you guys traded this chart? I actually saw some people on the gains tab trading AMD. I was happy to see that because look at the AMD chart. AMD actually gave you a break and retest short, and this is why, like, if you are trading a system and a chart just nosedives at the early morning session, there is no opportunity. But notice what AMD did yesterday under 235.50. This was so important, right? Look what it did. It broke down underneath the 235.50. It retested it right here at 935 candle and big downside move all day, right? So very beautiful trade here on AMD going into our demand zone 225 yesterday. At today's session, I would actually be far away from AMD today. Reason why is because we have Nvidia earnings, and I don't think it's gonna. I think this chart is not gonna move too much today. Right? I could be wrong about it, but that's what I think. My levels though are pretty simple. My big rejections point is gonna be here. So if I do, I'm saying stay away from it. But if I do see, I will trade this though. Like if I see this pop in here and I see a key, if I see it begin to reject, I will take this trade. But for new traders, stay away. This would be what I would do here. Is a 235, 236 rejection today off of the breakdown level from yesterday. So keep this on the back burner. New traders, absolutely stay away. What do you think, Mike?
Also, did you see how well that 224 level held?
It did, yeah, it did hold, right?
Yeah, $10 bounce off of that.
It did hold.
224 is so key moving forward.
Yeah.
If we lose 224, I mean, I don't know. It could probably go fill the gap all the way back to like 190, 180.
Yeah. AMD is AMD 224, very big level. Huge level, right? Any trades today though in AMD? You watching anything?
No, I'm not.
Okay, let's move on then. Actually, I think one of my main watches today is Apple. Are you watching Apple?
Apple, yeah, 266.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't like shorts on Apple yesterday, but since we tested that level and bounced, and now it's looking weak again in the pre-market, I actually do like shorts on it now if we lose 266.
Yep. Yep. I very much agree with that. Yesterday, I spoke about going long on Apple. And if you guys notice something, while the market sold off, right, this is why we talk about these things in the pre-market. So Apple, notice what Apple did. While SPY was nose diving underneath our Monday's lows. Look at what Apple was doing yesterday. Apple was not even getting close to breaking down under yesterday's low. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It did get a little close, but it didn't break down, right? It maintained its Monday's lows. And so that was an important factor yesterday. It was the fact that we are bullish with the idea that we are only bullish because we held that yesterday's, that 265 level. Sorry, 266 level would be the real level. 266 would be the adjusted level. Mike's right about this. You see what he's talking about? It should really be 266, like 80, or 265.80, right? You see that level right there? That's the demand we have today in Apple. So my main watch is this. Can we do this? Can we either break down under 265.80, under the Monday's lows for downside? If we do, look for shorts. That's your top watch today for shorts. Either that, or can we pop up higher today? And if we do pop higher, I'm looking for us to reclaim yesterday's highs. If we reclaim yesterday's highs, I'm looking for the trade back in 272, and then above 272, back into 276. So I know this is, you may think this is far-fetched, but Apple may make a big move today. I mean, this is probably the one name people will be trading because you can't trade Nvidia, you can't trade chip names. So hopefully Apple has a trend day, and we'll look for either trend above 270s or trend below 265.80s under that Monday's lows. Okay, what else do you have?
I mean, a lot of names are at like must-hold levels, like Amazon. I don't know if you have a level around this 222.50.
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a big demand from earnings actually.
I do.
So this is kind of a must-hold level for Amazon.
It is. It absolutely is. Do you guys remember yesterday what we said about Amazon? Right, we shorted Amazon when on that Monday session, right, and got downside. I sold it. I walked away. But we talked about this. Remember we said this earnings low here, right? This big E low. This is the big E low, the big earnings low. When I say big E, I mean earnings. So big E low here was at 223. What are you laughing at over there, Mike?
I like it. Big
The
E.
big E, the big E. So the big E was on was Thursday the 30th, right? Of October. And look where we are right now. Look where we're consolidating. We're consolidating precisely at the big E level, right? This is where it is. It's right there. Look how simple this is. We are at the big E right now level. And so what do we do here? Well, I'll tell you, it's actually so unbelievably complicated. I don't think anyone can understand this. Ready for this? This is what it is. It's either this, it's either this, or it's this, right? This is what you're gonna get, and we just don't know what it's gonna be yet, right? Now, I will say this: we had Target post our earnings today, and Target is foreshadowing earnings for a lot of the retail names, and retail names posing weak going into our Wednesday session because they're guiding lower, right? Target guided lower for the holiday season, which it may cause some drama for other retail names. Now, let's see what happens today on Amazon. I actually am interested to trade this one because we have a catalyst in play here. So let's see what happens here, either under the lows here for shorts, or we just look for an upside move today if we clear above maybe yesterday's highs. Yesterday's highs on this chart around, what was it, 229 and change. So my main focus here on Amazon will be either this, right, this trade to confirm for shorts, or this trade to confirm for longs, right? That's what I look for. And the reason why I'm saying this to confirm for longs is because you really want to see it back above Monday's lows, right? Back above Monday's lows is where I'll be looking for long side entries. Okay, all right. Let's move on. What else do you have? Mike? What do you
Yeah,
got?
yeah. What's going on? What's the next
Yeah,
ticker?
what's the next ticker? It's on you. You pick it.
Oh no, I'm asking.
Oh,
You.
next one. Let's do Palantir.
Palantir. All right. We finally got a close below 170 yesterday. It's been so struggling to close under 170. So for me, as long as we stay under 170, this is a bearish chart, and it goes all the way back to 150, like 148. But we had to stay under 170. If we start reclaiming 170, then we'll just squeeze back into the 190s, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, 170. That's the only level I have here. It's the major level. It's the major inflection point on Palantir, 170, right? That's where all the volume is as well. So I mean, just understand that above bull, below bear. Okay.
Sorry, the AI was glitching.
Yeah, I was going. Mike was playing Angry Birds on his phone over there. You guys saw. He was playing Angry Birds. He was over there, throwing the birds around. All right, let's go over Shmeta.
Meta. Okay. Oh, Meta. Yeah, I mean, it tapped at what, 580, 583. Yeah, okay. I had demand at 580. This is Rav's stock. I'm sure he'll trade this if we start getting reclaims. I would say probably like 605, maybe 604. He would look for longs.
I hate this chart.
Yeah, but if it gets reclaims, it'll squeeze. It's been selling off for so long. Since earnings, it's down what? 760 to 580.
760 to 580. You know what? Yeah, it's done 25%.
It's down 22% since earnings when they.
Yeah, it's for me. It's like I where I get back involved in this chart is the 550s. I know it's far away, but that's where I would get back involved here. But I mean, I just don't know. I mean, look at the 15-minute chart. It's been trying to kind of slow and choppy for a while, right? I think I do agree though. Like if you want to trade this long, look for that. This is the big level right here.
604.
Yeah, we see that the lows of that Friday the 7th, right? If it can reclaim that low and reclaim the high yesterday's session, there is an opportunity to go long, right? You can go long on this chart. Look for a target back into 620, right? That's what I would do here on this chart. Long this above 603. The one thing I will say about Meta is stick with trend on Meta, right? You don't want to be the one that goes against the, look, you don't want to be the one that, it's basically like trying to stop a rhino, right? It's trying to stop a bull, at one of those rallies, right? You don't do it. If this can clear 603, don't try to short it, right? Look for longs to continue back into 620. But again, you don't want to be preemptive to this, right? You want to wait for it to clear 603. If it does, that's where I would look for longs back into 621, 620. Okay, that is the Meta chart. Someone was telling me this morning that SPY is down 5% from highs. It bounced off a magic. Was he right? 5% magic number. Yeah, he was right. Yeah, 5% from highs on SPY yesterday's session. That's where we bounced off of, and for whatever reason, like these corrective numbers matter on SPY quite a bit. Like we look at the 5%ers from the highs, we look at the 10%ers, the 15%, and the 20%, right? I guess it's a good kind of note to understand that we are down 5% from highs. Yesterday's lows was down 5% from our SPY highs. Cool to see. Okay. Just a side note. Let's move on. Let's go over a few other names this morning. Okay. Incorrect. It was 10.84% on SPY. Incorrect. Incorrect. It was 10.84% on SPY.
No,
Bam.
that's wrong.
Bam.
10.84 is
4.88%.
totally wrong.
4.88%. I mean, even if you adjust for well, let's do this though. Maybe we'll adjust for dividends. And
No, that's not. No, that's not going to do anything.
it's not going to do anything. It's the same thing, same number. Okay, so that's all it is. Okay, let's move on. Let's go over one last ticker. Netflix.
Wait, hold on, Brett.
Yes.
Guys, we have 1,000 people in here. We need 10,000 likes.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
What's going on?
What is going on here? What is going on here? What is happening here? What is happening here? All right, Netflix.
Netflix.
Mike, this is your one, actually. What is going? What is going?
My one. I never trade Netflix. Yeah, guys, it's split. Until it starts producing some proper range. What is that? 116 actually has a gap fill on the daily. Now that I look at it, 116 has a gap fill all the way back to 123. But after stock splits, I like to let it kind of reset for a bit, maybe a few weeks, and then we can start looking to trade it. But right now it's in the middle of a range. I'm not interested.
Bam. Tesla. Last one, Tesla. We almost forgot Tesla, but we cannot forget the Tesla. So Tesla, what did it do yesterday? What did it do yesterday? Nothing. Okay, did nothing yesterday. Now today's session, what is it going to do? I don't know. Can it reclaim above the four and fives? This is my level. I have a level here and I have a level there. Anything in between the zone for me is my no-go zone, right? No fly zone, either above the highs or below lows. That's where I think this chart moves. So again, for me, no fly zone on Tesla. I do think that the bear flag though is you're seeing the bear flag, right? You saw the bear flag yesterday, okay? Kind of presenting some downside. Now today's session, I think the best trade is going to be underneath the lows. Underneath these lows for downside, back in 380. If that does happen, that's the only way I trade Tesla is this. This is the only way I trade Tesla today, underneath these lows. Guys, thank you all for joining in. We have Mike on the horn with us. We had a great pre-market session. Let's hop off here. I'll see you guys all for live trading. Have a happy and safe trading session. Thanks, Mike.
All right. Take care, everyone. See you guys on live. Good luck.
Bye, guys.